You know, hold on. Okay, so the thing is, hold on, sorry. I guess my friends don't know I'm filming. Okay, so the thing, come on. Eat Lucky Charms. Apparently a bunch of my friends just saw this movie called The Lucky Charms Diet. Based only on what they saw in that movie, they've all decided that they're gonna send me these text messages trying to get me to eat Lucky Charms all the time. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Lucky Charms. I'm just so surprised that so many of my friends are swayed by this 2-hour commercial. I mean, it seems really obvious that the whole thing is more of a marketing campaign than it is really a movie about promoting healthy eating. It all just seems really ridiculous. And speaking of ridiculous, welcome to my review of God's Not Dead. What is it? Well, it's a Christian film produced by the Christian production company PureFlix, a production company you probably would have never heard of if it wasn't for this movie. The movie is inspired by one of those chain email forwards that's left over from the 90s that keeps getting passed around by that old lady from your church who forwards it to everybody in her contacts list. There are many variations of the story. Typically, it's about a Christian young man who dares to challenge the teachings of his atheist professor. Then subsequently, the Christian student leads every single one of his classmates to Jesus. Some versions of the story say that kid was Albert Einstein. In other words, I think they say he was Marilyn Manson or something. So here we go. Boy, I sure hope this isn't gonna be a dirty movie. Oh good, it's a pure flick. Oh, an unnecessarily gaudy logo. I was worried this wasn't gonna perpetuate the cheap Christian film stereotype. So the movie begins without voiceover. Thank goodness. I'll remove a sin for that one. Oh yeah, she's a pretty cute girl. For a Christian. What? God's dead? Oh. I get it. This movie's as good at telling not jokes as Borat.
This suit is not black.
So the movie begins by taking us on a tour of this college campus, introducing us to all of these people. And you don't realize this yet, but we're actually gonna follow the storyline of every single person that you've seen in the movie so far. They're all lead actors in this film. Hey, you got a little mustard right there on you. I got it. All right, so our main character is getting his class schedule until something goes terribly wrong.
Wheaton, Josh Wheaton.
The director of the Avengers? Or should I say the not Avengers?
Philosophy 150.
You might want to think about a different instructor. You're wandering into the snake pit. Think Roman Colosseum, lions.
Witches, wardrobes. 3 minutes into the movie and we're already playing the victimized Christian card.
What does PRC stand for?
People's Republic of China.
You might want to choose a different class. Think Genghis Khan. All right, now we jump into another movie where we're introduced to the next main character. Her character, of course, is summed up by these 3 simple bumper stickers, all designed to scream to the audience, "I'm a liberal!" I'm pretty sure that I Heart Evolution sticker isn't real. Looks like it was printed off on the director's inkjet. All right, here we go, another character. Oh, it's Superman. All right, so here we established that she's like a reporter or something. I assume like Lois Lane, and he's a total jerk.
What's in it for me?
You're serious?
Okie dokie, now we're jumping into another main character. What is this, the Christian version of Crash?
I don't know when was the last time I had chicken.
All right, so here we meet discount Hillary Swank and her grandma.
I don't think she should have the same thing You think of anything else gonna make her that happy?
Besides, she's old.
I think my husband's gone off naked.
So we head over to Joss Whedon, who's starting his first day in the Coliseum. You know that place where Christians were ripped to shreds by starving lions because they refused to renounce their faith to an oppressive government? This is totally the exact same thing. Now we're introduced to the professor who is Hercules, Superman, and Joss Whedon all in one film?
If you're looking for an easy grade without much work, well then,
yeah, that's me.
Now would be your turn to leave.
Oh. And there's your comic relief, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you enjoyed it, because it's all you're gonna get. The professor begins the class by teaching everyone what an atheist is.
There is no God. This semester I propose that we refuse to waste our limited time together debating the existence of the big man in the sky.
Known as an airplane. All right, so now we're introduced to more characters. This pastor and his missionary friend from Africa. Apparently this movie thinks that it's Pulp Fiction. I mean, if you switched out all the compelling and intriguing dialogue with completely pointless dialogue. Pulp Christian. At this point, we're introduced to the crux of the film.
God is dead in the first place.
How dare you?
Fill in the papers I've just given you with 3 little words. God is dead.
No!
Along with your signature.
Honestly, I mean, don't get mad at me here, but sympathize a little bit with the teacher. I get that in the film, they're making him out to be this guy who's trying to get the students to renounce their faith, but I can see the value in a teacher asking the students to pretend for him, for the sake of the lesson plan, that they believe something else. So our hero, Joss Whedon, feels that writing God's dead on a piece of paper and signing it is against his beliefs, and also the beliefs of 85% of the United States. This is why this story is so silly. This would never happen. Now you may say, oh, I've heard about this sort of thing happening, and I just don't believe that it's true. This is religious discrimination, and even today, in 2015, the majority of the population not only believe in a deity, but in the Christian God. Now, does that mean that these people are well-read and have a firm grasp of their theology? Based on the ticket sales and support of this film, probably not. Oh, I should have gone to Liberty University. Then I wouldn't have to hear worldviews that differ from mine.
Excuse me, Mr.
Josh Whedon.
Creator of the television series Firefly.
Something wrong.
I can't do what you want. I'm a Christian.
What was that? Could you speak up a little bit? I said I'm I feel like this is exactly what Christians think atheists are like.
All right, Mr. Whedon.
Make my day. Is this not something they could discuss after class?
Then you will need to defend the antithesis.
Oh, wow, that's awfully nice of him.
Well, who would decide whether I won or lost the argument?
I would.
I'm not sure you can be objective.
What would you propose?
Maybe Jesus can decide my grade.
What about them?
Well, that's interesting, but why would I want to empower them?
We're right here.
We've already won them over. I mean, I'd have to unconvince them.
And clearly this isn't an easily persuaded crowd.
You'll get 3 sessions, the last 20 minutes of each of the next 3 classes to make your case.
Wow, so I guess being given the opportunity by your atheist professor to defend your faith over the course of 3 separate classes is the same as religious persecution. Interesting. Seems pretty reasonable to me. All right, so distraught by the task before him, our hero Joss Whedon runs to his girlfriend to find understanding and support.
So the answer's simple, drop the class.
I feel like God wants someone to defend him.
Nope.
Josh, why am I here?
Why are any of us here? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Aren't you listening to me?
Why am I salutatorian of our graduating class here at my third choice school?
Guys, this is not how a healthy relationship works.
I'm sorry for having the next 50 years of our life planned out, but that's just who I am.
You know, she's not gonna win Best Supporting Actress at the Christian Oscars if she can't even be a supportive girlfriend. Why does he need this class? I mean, if he fails, he could probably just take the class with a different professor next year. Believe me, I know. I spent all of college playing the GPA game. He should probably just go to the dean and let him know what's going on. It's just not believable. This just couldn't happen. Now we move over to the most pointless scene of the entire movie.
Why do you wear those heels?
Here we see tree-hugging Lois Lane attempt to stump Duck Dynasty, and she attempts to catch it all on her phone.
Amy Ryan, I vlogged the new left.
Maybe she needs to learn where the microphone's located on the iPhone.
I thought you'd be home, barefoot and pregnant.
I've been barefoot and pregnant in a really long time.
You haven't been barefoot in a long time? How do you shower?
You want to start again? We can try.
No.
I don't want to think about it. Oh, so much beard.
You've made a fortune selling devices that are designed to lure waterfowl to their death.
I think this is what Christians believe atheist vegetarian evolutionists are actually like.
You can just change it to y'all. That'd be an easier expression.
Okay, Duck Dynasty, let's stop going off script, please.
We can certainly buy bigger tires on our trucks and 4-wheelers to get out in the mud with, so...
Yeah, 4-wheeling and hunting and trucks and deer, gravy and biscuits and fried chicken and camo. Southern Christians relating to this movie yet? Duck Dynasty!
So you do kill those ducks.
What we're gonna do, cook them while they're still moving around?
That's true. That's a good point.
So this isn't an act, you're actually...
This bad at delivering lines?
Of course I am. Why would I do it if I'm not proud of it?
My question exactly about this film. Okay, now we cut over to the storyline of the lunch lady. I actually better not make a joke about this because, you know, it's Muslim!
You're beautiful. I wish you didn't have to do that.
I wish only ugly people had to wear those.
But what are you talking to? At all those people, there is no one who worships God.
Wait, which God are they trying to force me to believe in? I'm just getting so confused. All right, so now Joss Whedon goes and talks to the pastor because apparently his girlfriend didn't give him the advice that he really wanted to hear.
So I could drop the class, which is what my girlfriend wants.
But she wants a lot of weird stuff.
Or I could commit academic suicide in front of a live audience by trying to prove that God exists.
Or I could commit real suicide and find out for sure.
Acceptance of this challenge, if you decide to accept it.
Personally, I think it's the Holy Spirit talking to you. It's how he interacts with us if we allow him to.
Oh, you're gonna allow the Holy Spirit? Oh, cool, yeah. God may not be dead, but his powers are extremely limited. Newsboys? All right, so now in movie, 4, we see Lois Lane at the doctor, where she gets some devastating news.
We've gotten your results back from your test of last week.
You failed because you didn't write God's Not Dead on it. Look, no real person ignores news like this. I don't care how vegan they are.
You have cancer.
In your hair. Oh, no. If only there was some sort of higher being that she could call upon to save her in this situation. But no, he's dead. I think. Where did we land on that? Christian God is dead, but Muslim God's still alive.
I don't have time for cancer.
It's already grown into the surrounding tissue.
See, now that's what you get for not liking Duck Dynasty. And for thinking the iPhone has good audio.
6 years ago, your youth group collided with mine.
Ayo!
You remember how we met?
Newsboys.
I was dating their drummer.
They're gonna be in town next Friday.
Wow, that's amazingly convenient timing that there's a Newsboys concert during the same week in the same place exactly 6 years later?
I know I came off probably way too strong yesterday.
I didn't mean to make you stumble.
Forgive me.
Always.
Oh! Off my...
Please tell me you haven't been spending all your time on that philosophy thing.
Meaning, like, what, the last 12 hours?
Josh, that's not funny. It's really not.
No, it's not. This isn't a comedy.
Josh, I'm letting you know now for your own good.
I need a neck massage.
This experiment is over.
My neck
You
experiment.
need to prioritize and decide who's the most important person in your life. Me?
Or God.
Just return the book to the library, sign the stupid paper, and move on.
I got 3 good reasons why you should just walk away.
What does that have to do with me?
No. He's got a point.
A year from now, we'll look back on this and laugh.
You'll look back and laugh? They're really trying to convince us that we're watching a comedy, aren't they? All right, back to these guys. Now, you guys really searched your sound effects library there, didn't you? So here we are on day 1 of Joss's big presentation.
But I say no one can disprove that God exists.
He dropped that because he believes in Jesus.
In the beginning, there was an explosion. And in 3 minutes...
Wow, are we sure he's not going to school for motion graphics? And he put all this together in 12 hours? So our hero, Joss Whedon, begins to argue his faith in front of the class.
The Bible had it right, and science had it wrong.
I just realized what I'm saying up here.
Both the theist and the atheist are both burdened with answering the same question of how did things start.
An impossible question, in fact.
You don't have to commit intellectual suicide to believe in a creator.
Or real suicide.
Because there's a law such as gravity, the universe can and will create itself from nothing. How do you answer? You don't know.
I guess I'll have to try harder tomorrow. But for this evil professor, it's not enough to just humiliate Joss in front of his peers. Oh!
Do you think you're smarter than me, Wheaton?
Doi!
That's the first intelligent thing you said. In that classroom, there is a God, and yet I'm him. I'm also a jealous God, so do not try to humiliate me in front of my students.
Are you also a loving God?
You went and did your argument, didn't you?
Wow, everyone is bullying him today.
What were you trying to prove?
What? That there's a God. I thought I made that clear.
I'm sorry, Josh, but it's over between us.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, I mean, you just broke up with him.
Honestly, I'm still hoping you'll change your mind.
Come on, Joss Whedon, just drop her. You don't need her. She's holding you back. You've got Avengers movies to make.
I've just been named partner.
Partner? I thought Superman worked alone.
Think I have cancer.
This couldn't wait until tomorrow.
What? I thought you loved me.
It's like you had no character development.
Love is the most overused word in the English language.
I could think of another one.
You were my hot young girlfriend with the chic job.
Well.
I was your charming, successful boyfriend.
In the red
And we
cape
were
and blue tights.
together. But now it's over.
You're not terribly important to me.
Oh,
I have to return some videotapes.
You're in my philosophy class.
Oh yeah, this kid. I forgot about him.
Mr. Josh.
That's Mr. Joss to you.
Why are you doing what you are doing?
Oh, the one shoulder strap thing? I guess I just don't mind looking like a tool.
At the end of it all, I'm gonna have to work like a dog for the rest of the semesters to catch up on my other classes.
Oh, I hate when I get catch up on my classes.
Think of Jesus as my friend.
And my homeboy.
I don't want to disappoint him, even if everyone else thinks I should.
I basically live my life in guilt. Meanwhile, the Enterprise guy finally shows up to save the pastor and the missionary. Or does he?
Sign here, and then one more right there.
Standard procedure. It just says God's dead.
You're kidding. How soon can you get us another car?
I'm already kind of late for an audition.
What a loser. Wannabe actor?
God is good.
All the time.
Who is this now? Oh, right, the chicken lady.
You're on with Mark.
It's me, Dork. Your sister.
Oh, it's all coming together, just like Crash. Rude?
Seriously, you have got to get a life.
An eternal one. Meanwhile...
Hey, honey. Oh, sorry, the door is open. I just let myself in.
Hi.
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 Where is she? You know, the one who quoted Emily Dickinson and Shelley and SpongeBob SquarePants with equal self-confidence. I mean, whatever happened to the old Mina?
You know I'm a Christian. You knew that when you first started seeing me.
Yes, and you know that I'm not.
Yeah, I know, and I know there's a lot of things you don't want to talk about.
Oh, good. I'm glad they're both talking to each other about stuff that they both know.
There's only room in this relationship for two, which means I don't get a mistress and you don't get to drag a 2,000-year-old dead carpenter turned itinerant rabbi into our lives.
There's only room enough in this relationship for one old guy.
Wonk, wonk, wonk.
Then we get this long scene where the professor is hanging out with all his intellectual friends while he mistreats his servant-hearted girlfriend.
Honey, when my atheist friends are here, could you please not be around?
It's time for the help to depart.
Sweetheart.
In our last class, I was asked a question that I couldn't answer.
Hey, that's the name of the movie.
If I say to you that I can prove that Spam is the best tasting food that's ever existed because in all of history, no food has ever tasted better, all I've done is restate my original claim.
Oh yeah, circular reasoning. It contradicts itself. It's like forwarding an email that has a story in it that proves that atheists are hostile to Christians, and then upon finding out that that story is false, you justify the perpetuation of the lie because the message in the story is true. I mean, we know it's all true because we've heard the stories about it.
Like I'm a convenience to him.
No.
Then he becomes verbally abusive.
I'm guessing he's bright,
Brilliant.
handsome.
Amazing.
Been reading my diary.
Yes, I have. So the pastor convinces her to break up with the professor, which is probably a good idea.
He cares about you, right?
Right.
To the point where God's only son would willingly be crucified again for you.
Objection, Your Honor. Speculation about God. It's always good to witness in hypotheticals. So after Josh gives his presentation in the next class, he's confronted once again by his professor, who proceeds to open up his heart. And
She died believing that someone out there loved her even while he was strangling her to death.
Yeah, I understand, Professor. My girlfriend just broke up with me, so I kind of feel the same way. Joss will be able to use this in his argument later.
We saw the world for what it truly is.
we saw the Christian movie industry.
Why does he allow evil to exist? Free will.
Okay, so your argument against this atheist rides on the idea of free will, a concept that not even Christians can agree on. That sounds airtight.
If God does not exist, everything is permissible.
Yeah, but the actual atheist teacher said that that's not true, that there's other motivations for being good. The desire for success or to be viewed as decent. The desire for community and love and harmony, or even self-preservation. But I guess hearing the professor out just isn't gonna happen. Any atheist who's watching this film is gonna feel completely cut off by this self-indulgent, arrogant, argumentative, closed-minded jerk.
You left reason a long time ago. What you're teaching here isn't philosophy. It's not even atheism anymore. What you're teaching is anti-theism.
So the writers just acknowledged that he's not even an atheist? Who's your audience? Are you trying to teach Christians how to talk to anti-theists?
Why do you hate God?
This is ridiculous.
Why do you hate God? Answer the question.
Why is he yelling at him?
Very simple question, Professor. Why do you hate God?
Because he took everything away from me. I hate God.
It's almost like this guy was set up perfectly.
How can you hate someone if they don't exist?
Snap! Oh man! He just told him. Oh wait. No, he didn't. Wait, what did just happen? Isn't Joss Whedon doing exactly what the professor did? Oh, but it's okay because you agree with it and you believe that it's true. So then, the whole class, all of whom, with no reluctancy, signed a piece of paper not 3 days earlier saying God was dead, are now willing to take this guy's word for it, without having done any research or study for themselves. And we're supposed to be happy about that? I feel like they're making the same dumb mistake that they made earlier. Then, our vegan friend, pushed to the end of her rope with cancer, goes to a Newsboys concert so she can confront them because, well, never mind. There's no because. It's just convenient for the plot.
God and Jesus, as if they're as real as you and me. How can you do that?
They are as real.
But then, Michael Tate and the gang flip the tables on her, and they get her saved. Fortunately, before she dies of cancer. Which she got because she wasn't a Christian, I assume. And speaking of earthly consequences for not being a Christian, this happens to Professor Hercules. Wait, pause it. RGC 206. I'm calling the police right now.
Call the ambulance!
Oh, you'll have to carry me to the Newsboys concert.
His ribs are crushed. His lungs are filling with blood.
You'll just have to believe me on this.
Fortunately, the pastor is there to save him.
Do you know Jesus?
Oh, well, yeah, sure. I believe in God. I don't care. Is somebody calling an ambulance?
I believe it's God's mercy that brought me here right now. Because a God that you don't believe in has given you another chance to change your final answer.
Sure, I feel like that's a bit of a convenient answer, but I guess I get what you're saying.
Exact.
Oh, whew. I was worried he wouldn't make it there for a second.
In a few minutes, you're gonna know more about God than I do.
I'm not dead yet.
It's okay.
No, actually, I'm feeling a little better. Ha! Who's not dead now, Professor?
We've heard in the news that there's been a bit of a squabble down there on campus.
It made the news?
One of your professors insisted that God is dead.
And now he's dead.
Have you got your cell phones on you? I want everyone to go to their contacts and click on everybody you know and text them. God's not dead.
Then pull out your credit cards and type in those simple numbers at www.pureflix.com. Do it for the Lord.
And for the young man who took up the gauntlet to defend God's honor.
And this
movie. I can only
movie.
imagine the smile you put on God's face.
I can only imagine.
It was you, wasn't it?
How did you know?
I heard you talking in the cafeteria. Only a real risk tests the quality of a belief, right?
And your risk was great. I mean, you almost had to take that college class over again, and I was almost choked off by my own father. We're basically the same. And then it ends with the song God's Not Dead.
My God's not dead, he's surely alive.
Okay, he's not dead, but don't call me Shirley.
Join the movement. Text everyone to promote this film. God's Not Dead, the movie, was inspired by the following legal cases where university students in campus ministries were condemned for their faith. I suppose they put these court cases here to add legitimacy to their film, expecting that, nobody would really research every single one of them. But they didn't know that I was gonna review their film. And it turns out that not a single one of them play out anything like the film. Most of them don't have anything to do with religion, but rather political issues that tend to be more conservative. And without exception, they're cases of Christians filing lawsuits against schools. They aren't protecting freedom of speech or religious liberties. They are all, in fact, victimization of Christians, playing the Christian card, and attempts to get money. Not a single one of them are cut and dry cases of Christians being mistreated, and they all result in the Alliance Defending Freedom making a lot of money.
Whew, God's not dead. Look, I wasn't expecting Spielberg, but how did this movie not lose every single dime? From every angle, production, writing, story, theological, it was so contrived, perpetuating the victim Christian mentality, creating caricatures of atheists, using emotional and fragmented arguments, omitting truth to push an agenda, which is something Christians of all people shouldn't do. But this film was clearly written from a very specific Christian slant. You can't create a fake character and defeat that fake character inside of your fake story, then expect to receive praise in real life for it. The movie thought so highly of itself that it believed that its own events were so important that they would not only be newsworthy, but so earth-shattering that they would need to interrupt the Newsboys concert with the Duck Dynasty guy just to get the message out to everyone. And then the arrogance of humans thinking that they can put God on trial. If you really believe that God of the universe is real, then how powerful would he really be if he's threatened by any aspect of his own creation? A lot of people want to praise this movie for its brilliant marketing campaign. And to a degree, yeah, it's true. The marketing team did a fantastic job at promoting this poorly made movie. They got a bunch of Christians to mistake promoting this movie as promoting their faith. And they got a lot of people to stand behind a bad movie just because it said stuff that they agree with. I think it's sad that people don't see through that they keep giving their hard-earned money to filmmakers and films that are designed specifically to cash in on Christian naivete. Honestly, I have a hard time supporting a movie that paints Christians as some sort of victimized minority and yet has over 6 million followers on Facebook. It's just so blatant and offensive, and it's obvious what's going on here. In the end, I can't blame the wolves for dressing up in sheep's clothing. That's just what wolves do. The only reason it keeps happening is because Christians keep insisting on defending the wolf.